On the weekend with the Blues, they were gone at half-time. They found a way to win. David Teague was asked about the wins and what it did for his chances of retaining his job at the Blues with Gerard Whateley on 360.
A lot of this publicly, fairly or unfairly, is framed around you. Is it useful to be winning games at a key moment when notionally you are being assessed?
No, I think it does. Look, probably one of the things our group have struggled with is the frustration. We've played some good footy against quality teams earlier in the year and didn't get the results. So that was the frustration bit that it probably mounts, and our fans feel that, and we understand that. But the last few weeks we've started to play a little bit better. So to get those results, to get the 4 points, and to show that we are on the right track, and there's a lot of belief within the playing group, within the staff, within the way we're going about things, I think gives us a lot of confidence moving forward.
It's an interesting examination when a lot of it's being done by Zoom, but I tell you what, winning must beat losing.
Absolutely. Dorothy Dixon there from Gerard. Winning absolutely helps while the review's going. 3 out of the last 4, so you can't beat winning form for David Teague if he wants to keep his job. The area coming into the game for me, and we did the game pre-game, Gerard, was the midfield. I was looking at those midfield names for Collingwood. They had their starting midfield, an all-star midfield, going up against a midfielder, Carlton, the query, especially with no Patrick Cripps out there, obviously led by young Sam Walsh. Yep. And they really stepped up to the plate, the point, and they got the chocolates against Collingwood's midfield. There was no doubt about that, and I was really impressed by the way they got the job done in the second half, especially. Look at Dow; it was really impressive. Matt Kennedy looks chiselled. So it looks like he's had a mini pre-season.
They were the two that joined this kid as generational. Walsh. We don't need to say any more about him. He's just that good. But these are the steps forward, and there's no Cripps. Cripps is a huge presence, and I'm not saying you're better off without Patrick Cripps. No one says that. But when he's not there, there's no looking around saying I can leave it to Pat. Yeah. And this is Kennedy saying, well, I'm going to assume the role. This is Dow. I mean, that attack on the footy of Dow and that first bit of there is. I don't know whether he does that when Patrick Cripps is there. Yeah, well, I don't know whether he sits back and says, come on, Cripper, you go and I'll pick up.
So does Cripper spend more time in the forward half?
Well, maybe. Or maybe he just comes back as a fitter and healthier and a bull.
He needs to, Gary. Because Harry Mackay seems to be the lone person up there.
He doesn't need to, because he's an elite midfielder.
I know, but he needs to develop that part of his game. He's a big man. He's 195 centimetres. For Carlton's pair, he's 195 centimetres. He can take contested mark. He needs to fix up his goal kicking. But that on display yesterday tells me that Cripps needs to develop his forward line craft and allow the other midfielders, trust the other midfielders that they can get the job done without him being in there all the time.
I think we're all singing from the same hymn book. I see it as Bontempelli style, who's now added goals. Not now added, but he's become a real threat forward of the footy. But he hadn't sacrificed his midfield role just so the other kids can get a go. I'm with you. I reckon there's time when he goes forward. But if he's fit and solid, sound and back, then he becomes part of that group, and we hope Dow. I'd love to see Dow push him out of the road next time he's back in.
Get out of the way, old man.
Dow's for the first time looked like a player. Yeah. We've all been wondering, did they burn the pick on a kid and he's just not going to be any good? But I mean, the 2 clips we saw in that package, they're the clips of a midfielder that can stand up at the level. Absolutely,
been coming for the last 4 weeks, and so too is their improvement in their defence. I reckon it's been 4 weeks since somebody has put up a defensive drama by the Blues. They're slowly starting to get it right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 2 pillars are elite. Weitering's elite. Well, Jones, Jones has got elite one-on-one ability when he chooses to play that way. So, I mean, there are things in place. Stocker is another one who's taken some steps forward. So, I think there's some ticks for the Blues. But they played against a side who were all care, no responsibility, the Pies. When it was going well for them in the first quarter and a half, they looked like they're going to finish top 4.
We're very much a win-loss business. But on the basis of 3 wins out of the last 4 weeks, it's going to be hard for them to tip him out, David Teague.
Well, if they're fair income, it runs its race. It runs the next 5 weeks and beyond if they're good enough to get there and they make a decision. I don't think we need to make one right now.
No, because we've got the good, the bad.